Hi there, CJ Jenkins from Century 21 Cornerstone. Thank you for joining us at Lake at the Pines Living Facebook. Today we are doing something called handing over the keys. Well, we've talked so much about getting a house ready for sale, getting it staged, getting it spot on, getting a buyer, going through inspections, and going over those hurdles that really get to the point of handing over the keys from the seller to the new buyer. And if a house is vacant like this one, from the selling agent, the listing agent, to the buyer's agent. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, it's kind of like one of those things, and you probably all know this. Remember when it came time to set up Christmas? And you opened up the boxes of Christmas ornaments and it brought you back all these wonderful memories. And it was so much fun decorating your house for Christmas. 3 weeks later, I've got to take down the Christmas tree. I've got to take the tree outside and get rid of it. Look at all those pine needles. Oh, I try to pack everything up in the same containers that we used. Taking down Christmas is not as much fun as putting up Christmas. Well, it's the same thing about staging a house and closing down a house because you have things left in the house. So my job today is to prepare this home and have it completely empty for the next buyer. Sometimes that means talking to your sellers about doing a dump run, letting them know, no, they don't want that old tire. They have no plans of saving all of those fluorescent tubes. The old filters that you've used in the heating system are not of any benefit to the new buyer. And so those are small little things that you do not want to leave behind for the next buyer. Now, these are some of the things here that I bring to every one of my homes when they're vacant. Okay, we have some tissue for the people who are working in the house. Sometimes we'll have some cups for people to keep themselves hydrated. Always, you bring some toilet paper. You need toilet paper in every bathroom. Now, some people think, well, if I didn't put toilet paper in the bathroom, no one will use the toilet. That is not true. And you don't want any little gifts left in your bathrooms and that affect the ambiance or the smell of your home. So I bring rolls of toilet paper. Always bring a garbage can here because there will be garbage that when you have an open house, let's say, or you have a realtor tour, you're going to need a little garbage. So I have lots of small garbage cans. Also, we have some of the bacteria disinfecting wipes. I always bring some hand soap for people who are at the house in case they need to wash their hands. Paper towels also. And then, of course, the last thing that's going to go up is the sold sign, and we're just about to do that later today. So after you finish almost closing a house, you want to look through every one of your drawers to see what is left. Now, I do have a few cleaning supplies here and sponges, and I have to show you my most favorite tool. This sponge right here. Maybe some of you know it, but I have one of these in every house that I sell. And this is a magic eraser. You get it wet, and while you're talking to somebody on the phone or you're waiting for people to come during the open house, I bet you could run this little sponge here in some of the doorways where the door handles are, and this comes in very, very handy. Now, one of the other things that I do, which is just one of the small things that I offer to do. Now, this house, you might remember, if you've seen it before, look at that view. This is in Colfax, California. What a sensational view. We are looking toward the American River Canyon. Lots and lots of pine trees. Just very peaceful and a very spacious view. Oh, by the way, I always leave the doormat that I bring to the house. You can see that this doormat matches the outside paint of the house, which is yellow and white. And because the door here is black, when we landscaped, we had two choices of bark color. We had the brown reddish, kind of auburn colored tan bark, and we had the black. And we felt because the gutters are black, the door is black, that this particular black tan bark really made the front of the house pop. And just a small thing, it is great feng shui for a house to have yellow blossoms in front of the doorway. It brings in really good energy into the house. We're about to turn the sprinklers on in a little bit, and we have our daisies here planted on both sides of the doorway. Let's go in and see some of the staging that we've put in the bathrooms. Now I have to admit, I have 14 sets of towels, and those sets of towels live in a room at my house. It's called the yellow room, which is a big storage room, which, well, let's just say my husband would like all those items to go missing someday, but they're very helpful when I have a vacant home. So let's see some of the staging items we might use. Oh, I didn't even know there was a little light here. This is just putting something on the counter here for people to think about how they might use the counter. In the bathroom, I brought in some towels that work with the color of the walls. This is a sea creature theme. Have a little fish, some of the colored soap that goes with the towels, and usually an orchid. So I'll be folding all these things up and taking them where? Yes, to the yellow room for the next house. Now this particular piece is a favorite piece of mine, and what it has done is it brings your eye all the way down the hallway, and it shows you how long the hallway is of this single-story home. And having something here on this wall really lets you know the length of the hallway. And this is one of my favorite pieces, which I had bought at Sapphires and Sage right by Lake of the Pines. So in here, because we had some of the darker tile as an accent, I brought towels in that have this kind of tan color. We also have dark fixtures and light fixtures. So the dark brown in these towels really work for us. Just an extra artistic piece of wood. And these blinds were actually here in the house before, and the texture of these blinds really, I think, work in this particular bathroom. And just some turquoise towels. Turquoise, very popular. Little plant in the corner. These are all things that will make their way home with me. So the main room, the kitchen, the dining room, the entryway, that was all part of the staging project that we did. We hired Heather's Houses to do that staging, and they do just a sensational job in staging. I'm just bringing in some light color into a kind of plain bathroom. So when you hear the word move-in ready, oh my gosh, this house really fits the bill as being move-in ready. So we will be taking these items, packing them up, using them in our next home. And then one of the things that I believe is my responsibility as an agent is to check the garage. Is there a lot left over in the garage? Now, garages are one of the hardest rooms to empty out. They have so many small things. Oh my gosh, here's a rug of mine. I'll roll that rug up and take it home and put it in the yellow room. Now, one of the things that can be left at a house, always, is the colors of the paint that are used in the house. Not something that's 40 years old, but these are the paints that were used when we prepared the house for sale. So it is customary to leave those here in the house. So the word refreshed really fits for this home here in Colfax, California, and we're very proud to be able to hand over the keys to the next buyer. Thank you so much for joining us today at Lake of the Pines Living. If you have any questions in how to prepare your home for sale or how to close down your home for sale and what is expected of you as a seller, please give me a call, and my number is 530-906-4715. And thank you again. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.